Good morning. Well, it is for me right now. Good afternoon, good evening, more likely evening if you're watching this. Welcome to another Midlife Crisis Guys video. It's Adam here on his quest for content for my channel during this delightful lockdown. So yes, after the rather random Pink Floyd reaction video last time, I had a bit of a request from a chap called Andy Rag. Andy, really appreciate all your support all the time. And he said to me, Adam, can you just show us how you put together one of your videos or how you make your videos? So I thought, actually, I had kind of semi-thought about doing something like that. Kind of the whole process really, from out filming, capturing the footage, uploading. It's not going to be a techie one. I'm not going to go into all the technical stuff and ask me about bit rates and all that kind of stuff. If I'm honest, I wouldn't have a clue. But yeah, it's an idea actually, I thought. What midlife crisis? Before I show you the editing, the uploading and the editing, let me just show a few tools of the trade. I took out my GoPro 8 and I've also bought for the GoPro 8 something called a media mod, which is a separate case. There's the GoPro 8, looks much like the GoPro 7, not like the GoPro 9. And one of the advantages of the GoPro 9 is they've got a forward-facing LED screen, so you can actually see what you're filming, which for vloggers, I'm guessing that is quite a good thing. And yes, I'd love a GoPro 9, but where do you draw the line? It's like, are you one of those people that get the brand new release every single year of, say, the iPhone? I know people that do, and I used to think they were crackers, but now I'm really into GoPros. I'm desperate to get the 9, which I realise is utterly ridiculous because the 8 is absolutely perfect. And if I'm brutally honest, the 7 was an excellent camera as well. In fact, the 7, I'd go as far as saying, was quite revolutionary with regard to stabilisation, but I'll talk about stabilisation later. But anyway, this is my sort of go-to camera really in the outdoors. It's the GoPro 8 with this media mod. The media mod has given me the option of inserting there an external microphone, or if not an external one, you've got what they call like a little shotgun mic, and they really have thought about and improved the audio, so it's a lot better now. So I'm more confident now just chatting to my GoPro, sometimes even without a microphone, using this media mod extension. It really does help. Trouble is, I took it out on this walk the other day. When I left the house, just grabbing the dogs, I checked the battery and it was just over half full. I thought, oh, fabulous. Got one shot, then went to use it again. Battery was dead as a dodo. The fact that it was about -4, we all know that batteries, particularly GoPro batteries and extreme cold, do not go. So anyway, that is the GoPro 8. That's my go-to sort of camera really that I use. I recently bought, just as part of the arsenal really, this is the old GoPro 5. And a friend of mine was selling it very, very cheaply at work just to get rid of it. He's admitted he bought it, just sits there in the box, never ever used. He's only used it a couple of times. He was aware that I do quite a lot of vlogging and stuff outdoors with cameras, and yeah, and I thought actually as a backup camera, it's quite a good one. I did have a 5 before, and I don't know if you saw my Rhodes video when I went to Rhodes. Sadly, I don't really trust these now. When they say they are completely waterproof as is, well, it wasn't, because I did some shots just of small little waves breaking in Rhodes, and consequently the audio went funny, and yeah, I knackered the whole thing up really because of salty water getting into the camera. So I don't ever trust that now. In fact, I've got a case if ever I was to get underwater shots with this. But as a good little camera, the GoPro 5, brilliant. But, and as I mentioned, stabilisation, this thing does not have stabilisation. So I'm out with the dogs, realise my GoPro 8 is battery's flat as a pancake, so I do piece the camera, and what I use, my go-to mount is this one. It's a clamp. Originates from when I did all the mountain biking, so this is ideal just to clamp on different parts of your bike to get lots of different angles, not just for biking, but now I use this more than any other accessory for GoPros. and it's ideal for clamping on walls, fences, gate posts, branches, you name it, and it's just really handy, and it's a really decent strong clamp. You know, I know there's a lot of copies out there, but this was the original GoPro one, and yeah, still going strong. And like I say, I recommend this. Brilliant, so versatile. So I've got a little case for that, which I haven't got with me, but I used the GoPro 5 to vlog to, and basically I'm just holding it like so, the camera there, and I'm just chatting while I'm walking. Trouble is, it really does make you realise, as I keep going on about the stabilisation, how much better it is in the newer cameras, because on the GoPro 5 I could barely use the footage. It was awful, and I am going to show you this. I will show you the pre-stabilised version. Thankfully, and again I'm going to show you shortly, on my Final Cut Pro editing software there is a couple of things that can help me out keeping footage a lot smoother to add stabilisation post. So it means when I add up the footage I can play around with it and get shaky footage a lot smoother, and I will show you how that works. Okay, just to show you now what I'm talking to, I'm going to use and I've got it actively running, my GoPro 8. And what I will do during this is actually just fade the microphone out that I'm using with my DSLR, just use the audio on the GoPro 8. I've never done that before. That would be interesting just to compare, to see what they like, see how they compare. So a bit of noise there where I adjust that, but I'm going to turn around and just show you. This is how I'm filming this now. This is my EOS 700D Canon with an external microphone via wire down to my Rode shotgun mic. So that's how that works. So it'd be interesting to see how they compare. So that really, they are really the tools of the trade, as it were. These are what I use for literally all of my videos, dependent on where and when. When I'm out and about while camping and stuff, obviously it's going to be the GoPro. Now I've got this little studio, which I just do a quick pan round with the GoPro. Now I've got this available, it's quite nice to just use a bit more of a purpose-built proper DSLR camera. However, even with that said, and Andy, who's the guy that inspired me to do a video like this, will know, I've been chatting with him, my DSLR 700 has real massive issues with autofocus, and there's a couple of things that I'm not too keen on it, and I am looking to upgrade that DSLR. I'll probably trade it in. I'm looking, and I'll be interested to know anyone watching, and again Andy knows because he's just got one, and it's the Canon M50, the mirrorless camera, which I've read lots and lots of reviews about, and that really, for vlogging and still with a really decent quality camera, looks like it might be the one to go for. So that is in the pipeline. That's what I'm desperately trying to save up for, shall we say, is upgrading my DSLR. Now I've got the studio as such, I think I'd like a better camera. But anyway, you can let me know what you think on that. But there you go. Yeah, these are a few tools of the trade, as it were. I'm not sure what camera to look at now. Yeah, there you go. Another different background. So yeah, let's get on with the stuff, the nitty gritty. It's all well and good going out getting the footage, but what happens when I've filled up my memory card, or not necessarily, got a few bits of footage on my memory card? The next stage is to upload it onto my computer, and I'll show you how to do that right now. I'm selecting the footage that's already just come up automatically after putting the SD card in, and then lo and behold it downloads onto the software. So that's nice and easy. So here is the first shot that I want to use. I'm rambling away on a dog walk recently. I drag it into the timeline, which is where all the action happens. That's the main sort of track where you drag your footage. And all I'm doing here is just snipping off the very end. I don't want that because that's invariably where I'm turning the camera on and I put my hand across. So I just do a little cut, select it and then hit delete, and then that disappears. And then just to enhance the start of the video, I'm dragging here over a fade effect, and it just gives that slight slow fade in from darkness. So you'll see that here as well. There we go, a little fade. It's quite subtle, but I think it looks quite nice. I then just cut the clip to the desired length. I mean, I ramble on, this is just for demonstration purposes really, but that's how easy it is. I just drag it along, cut to however I want it. Now, stabilization, I go on and on about that, but the GoPro 5 doesn't have stabilization on it. And this, I'm so pleased with. When you look at this is Final Cut Pro X, Final Cut Pro 10 that I use. Look at the difference from the footage on the left to the footage on the right. I'm really quite pleased with that. I think it does some amazing, it does an amazing job of kind of easing out that rough, wobbly background. So now it is just a question, like I said, you've got all the footage up above, just going to drag in the footage now, you know, in its sequential order really of how you want the footage. Here there's me walking towards the camera, far too much of it, so I basically just cut it down, and this is just the clip that I wanted. And then the other beauty, it's called poetic license in effect, is obviously I've moved the camera and I've then filmed myself walking past the camera. But obviously I would need to put the two together to give the impression that it's just one sort of flowing shot. So there we go, I'm walking past and then clip it straight in. And then, so again, that's poetic license. But obviously in the interim, I've had to stop and move the camera, but that's just, again, poetic license, I like that terminology. And this is Lily running past, and I quite like that shot, so I just slow the shot down a little bit. Here we've got some speed and I can put it at 50% and just slow it down a little. Again, it's very subtle, but I did like that shot. And there's me walking off into the distance. Adding titles is really easy. Here I'm adding it as a main title, so with a black background, and I'll just type away what I want to see. I normally use Avenir as my chosen preference for most of my videos. I don't know why, I just quite like it. And yeah, it's really easy to add titles and text to your projects too, he says, exclamation mark. So yeah, and it's a bit annoying, this particular one always automatically puts a capital at the start of each line, which is a bit annoying, but there we go. So I always just go back and change that. And now I'm rambling on about stabilization yet again, but I really did have to show you this, because bearing in mind how you saw the 5 was kind of, the background was all over the place just walking. Well, with my GoPro 8 I went for a dog walk the other day, a different one in the snow, and I just decided to run along with Lara and Lily, and again, without adding any effects, as I say here, it's just so impressive, the GoPro 8 and the stabilizer. Like I said, it started with the 7, but they've really worked on this stabilization a lot. I'm just adjusting where all that text is, just giving you a demonstration. And I'm also showing you here just how easy it is just to drag images, any photo you want really. But I love to use PNG images, and PNGs are the one without a background, because they kind of show up and look quite professional, I always think. So here's my GoPro 8. That is actually a picture of my own that I took. Various software out there or apps on your phone to get rid of backgrounds. Just did a bit of rotation. Where do I want it? About there, up in the sky, and it just looks really nice on this clip. So I then fade in the oh that's right, and I'm fading it in as well. So the good old fade in that I used at the start, I'm using to introduce that image as well. So, and I'm going to slow it down as well. Thing is, with slowing the footage down, obviously it then makes the segment longer, so I've got to change the duration of the image as well. I hope this is making sense, I really do. It's not going to go on much longer, I just wanted to show you, but here's the final shot. And considering I'm running and I'm holding that clamp that I said to you, and just like this, that's pretty good work, I thought. And then I just caught, I couldn't help myself, I've just kept this running because this is Lily in the snow. Talk about crazy spaniel, but absolutely loving the snow. Look at her here, she just starts doing roly-polies, and apologies if you're not dog lovers, but I clearly am, and I just love this footage of Lara and Lily really enjoying the snow. I think one of the secrets to making films that keep people interested, which is ironic because I reckon there's most people that have been watching this have probably now gone, but anyone that's still there, cheers for still watching. But what I'm trying to say is try and keep the shots short and sharp. Do you see what I mean? The eye gets very bored very easily, or the brain and the eye, and you just, you know, if it's just one of the same shot the whole time, so try and get different angles, try and make it short, sharp. And that's what I quite like doing when I do these little 1 minute videos or highlight videos. I'm going to leave you now with a little video. I finally got round with some milder weather that we've had at long last. I got round to putting some lights into my decking, and I did a quick video, and it's, in fact, I think this is, in fact I need to check, but I think it's only about 30 seconds long. It's not long at all, but this is just, I like to think, quite a good example of just like bang bang bang, done. So yes, back in the studio, just want to do another quick, something that I haven't addressed, which I really should. I'm trying to show you bits about my editing. I do use a bit of green screen, you might have noticed. Now, why do I use that? It's not me trying to be clever. Well, I suppose it is really. I quite like it. I think it's quite a nice effect, and it kind of helps to bring home a point. So if I'm discussing about, say, a camera or a previous video, it's quite nice to do that. Now, I totally appreciate you do not need green screen to do that. I could just be sat with a nice background. That's something I noticed with, in fact, I go as far as saying I think using green screen is probably quite old hat really. But hey, I'm old hat and I quite like using it. But when you see a lot of these top YouTubers, they have these beautifully laid out massive spacious offices with LED lit screens everywhere, and you know, they don't use green screen, do they? But they don't need to. They've got these really elaborate looking studios that look really impressive. And yeah, I mean, lighting has a lot to do with it. If you've just got a really nice subtly lit room in the background, that suffices. But like I said, the fact that now I've got this little studio, I've got a blank wall, I might as well put my green screen there and utilise it when I can. I don't use it all the time, but every so often I quite like to use it. And actually, while I've been chatting, I'm aware that there's, you ever get that feeling you're being watched? I'm just trying to demonstrate you the various uses of the green screen anyway. But basically all it is, it's ever so easy. I will just film this piece in green screen, transfer it onto my Final Cut Pro, uploaded as already mentioned, and then it's quite simple. There's a little effect called keying, and I literally drag the keying effect across into the footage, and voila, the green will disappear. It's called the chroma key. And in effect it will take a couple of adjustments, and I'm aware now as I'm talking to you, I've been changing my lights around a little bit in here and I'm not happy with it. It's not very even at all. So yeah, I'm not happy because it's creating shadows behind me on the green screen. That's one thing you really don't want. You want to try and alleviate all shadows, but there you go. I'm not going to go into detail. But really, that's the green screen, like I said, that you've probably seen me use a few times and a lot on this video. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Well done if you've made it to this point in the video. It's been a bit of a long, laborious one, and quite tricky for me to edit this. I don't deny that, but hopefully I'll get something together in some sequential order and make, hopefully you'll be able to make sense out of what I'm trying to achieve or trying to get across. But anyway, as you can see, I'm quite animated about video editing. I really enjoy it, enjoy the whole process, as I said before, the whole going out, getting the footage, coming back, editing it, putting it all together and uploading it. Hopefully for you to enjoy, but there we go. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. That would be great to have you along for the ride, and I cannot wait to get out there this summer. Fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. All right, all the best, and I'll see you on the next one.